Spiritual awakening is usually not a sudden enlightenment like in the movies. It begins with a whisper. It begins with that splinter in your mind, your soul's way of telling you it no longer wants to sleep, that it wants to live the life that truly belongs to you. This can be a difficult, confusing, and sometimes frightening journey, because this journey forces you to question everything you know, every value you've believed in, and even the person you thought you were. As the famous psychologist Carl Jung once said, enlightenment is not imagining figures of light, but making the darkness conscious. In this video, we'll give you the map for this journey, the 7 fundamental stages of spiritual awakening and the signs of each one. This way, you'll understand where you are, know you're not alone, and see what awaits you at the next step. If you're ready, let's open the map and look at the first stop of this journey, the whisper that starts it all. Stage 1. Restlessness in sleep. This is the stage where everything begins. Though you don't yet know what's starting, life feels like it's on autopilot. Wake up, go to work, come home, watch TV, sleep, repeat. It feels like you're reading lines from a script someone else wrote. The most obvious feeling here is deep dissatisfaction. Money, success, relationships, the things that are supposed to make people happy, don't fill the emptiness inside you. Sometimes the more you have, the emptier you feel. Signs include frequently asking yourself, what's the meaning of life? Activities you once enjoyed now feel meaningless. You begin questioning society's definitions of success, a good job, a nice house, and they don't feel like yours. You feel out of place. Even in crowds, you feel deeply lonely. What's happening here is this: your soul is gently knocking on your door. Hey, are you in there? You forgot something, it's you. This is the call. Most people ignore it, drowning themselves in work, shopping, or distractions. But that only silences the voice temporarily. If you keep ignoring it, your soul raises its voice, and that's when everything begins to collapse. The second stage. Stage 2, the dark night and collapse. If you ignored that whisper in the first stage, your soul has no choice but to break down the door. This is the second stage, the dark night of the soul. Like the Tower card in tarot, the pillars of your life begin to crumble. This collapse often comes from outside, suddenly losing your job, a long-term relationship ending, a health crisis, or losing someone close. It looks like a disaster, but in truth, it's the greatest gift from your soul, forcing you out of everything false and stripping away structures that no longer serve you. It pushes you out of your comfort zone, out of the fake safety of your castle. The signs here are intense and painful. Life feels completely meaningless and empty. You may experience deep depression and hopelessness. The question, who am I, stops being philosophical. It becomes a painful identity crisis. The old you has died, but the new you hasn't yet emerged. In this void, you feel lost. All your belief systems crumble. You may lose faith in God, the universe, life, even yourself. You isolate socially, feeling that no one sees your pain or understands you. This stage can feel like pure hell. But know this, it is not the end. It is purification. Like a caterpillar dissolving completely inside its cocoon before becoming a butterfly, your old identity and ego structures are dissolving so a truer self can be born. The only thing to do here is stop resisting, surrender, allow yourself to move through the pain. The more you resist, the longer you stay stuck. But when you finally hit rock bottom, when you feel you have nothing left to lose, a tiny light begins to seep in. That's when the real search begins, stage 3. Stage 3, seeking and discovery. You've walked through hell. You've lost everything. Now you're sitting in the rubble. There's a strange freedom in being at the bottom. There's nothing left to fear. And at this point, that small voice inside speaks again, but this time in a different tone. If everything was a lie, then what is the truth? This is the beginning of the seeking stage. Now you search not to ease your pain, but to find answers. Your eyes are open. Things that never interested you suddenly become central to your life. The signs. You devour spiritual, philosophical, and psychological books like a sponge. You discover names like Carl Jung, Ibn Arabi, or Osho. You feel drawn to practices like meditation, yoga, Sufism, breathwork, dream interpretation, energy healing, astrology, Reiki. Things you once dismissed as nonsense, you now try. You download a meditation app, sign up for a yoga class, maybe visit a healer. You start to see that coincidences, like repeating numbers or someone calling just as you think of them, might actually be signs. You meet new people, others also seeking, who you can share deeper conversations with. Your old circle of friends begins to drift away. This stage is exciting and illuminating. It's like stumbling in a dark room and suddenly someone hands you a flashlight. You can't see the whole room yet, but at least something is lighting your path. This is the knowledge-gathering phase. You study maps, explore different roads, but soon you realize that reading and research aren't enough. You must experience this wisdom within yourself. That awareness takes you to the fourth stage, one of the most important in awakening. Stage 4. Inner confrontation. You've studied the maps. You've read the books. Now you hold lots of knowledge. But at some point you realize true transformation can't happen outside. It must happen inside. No matter how many books you read, you can't move forward without facing your inner monsters. This is stage 4. Inner confrontation, or as Carl Jung put it, meeting your shadow. The shadow is everything you suppress, deny, or ignore. Your jealousy, anger, pride, fears, shame. Everything you buried deep because society or your family labeled it bad. In this stage, life begins to show you mirrors, reflecting these shadows back at you. The signs. You notice traits in others that trigger you intensely. You can't stand someone's arrogance or selfishness, yet often it's a reflection of your own hidden arrogance or selfishness. Life is saying, this too is part of you. Past traumas and childhood wounds resurface. Memories you thought you'd forgotten appear in dreams or meditation. You notice patterns of self-sabotage. Why you always ruin things when they're going well, or why you keep attracting the same kind of toxic people. This can be painful and shameful. No one likes facing their darkness. But this is the most crucial crossroads in awakening. When you stop judging your shadow and start understanding and embracing it, something incredible happens. You discover the gift within each shadow. That anger you suppressed, it holds the power to set boundaries. That jealousy, it hides your desire to reach your potential. Every shadow part carries a gift. When you integrate them, when you embrace them, you become whole. You stop trying to just be a good person. You become a complete person. And this wholeness sets you free. This is true spiritual alchemy. Stage 5. Rebuilding the self. You've danced with your shadow. You've embraced even your darkest parts. There's nothing left hidden. Now it's time to build a new home on that cleared land, your own. This is the 5th stage, rebuilding the self. Here you stop looking for validation or guidance outside. You realize your greatest guide is within you, your soul's voice, your higher self, your intuition. You begin to trust it. The signs. You make big cleanses in your life. You leave a job that no longer serves you. You end draining, toxic friendships. You drop old habits and addictions. These decisions now carry less fear and more clarity. Your values shift completely. Society's values, money, status, fame, lose their meaning. Instead, peace, love, authenticity, creativity come to the forefront. You stop being afraid to express your authentic self. You do what feels true to you without worrying what people will say. Maybe your style changes. Maybe your hobbies. Maybe even the way you speak. You start enjoying being alone, not as an escape, but as sacred time connecting with your inner guide. In this stage, you align your life with your soul's values. It's like writing your own personal constitution. What matters to me? What kind of life do I want? The answers come not from outside, but from within. This brings immense empowerment. You're no longer a leaf blown by the wind. You're the captain of your ship. You take full responsibility for your life. With this new, authentic self, your relationship with the world changes too, moving you into more universal stages of awakening. Stage 6. Unity consciousness. You've built your home. You've found peace and wholeness within. Now you look out the window, but this time the view is different. This is stage 6. Unity consciousness. The place where the illusion of separation dissolves. Up to this point, the journey was largely about me, my pain, my search, my shadow, myself. But now, me fades into we. You stop seeing yourself as separate from others, from animals, from nature, from the universe. You deeply feel that everything and everyone is an expression of the same conscious energy, like different waves in the same ocean. The signs. You feel deep compassion and empathy, not just for those you love, but even for those who wronged you. You see the pain, fear, or ignorance behind their actions. Judgment gives way to understanding. You feel a profound connection with nature, When you look at a tree, you don't just see wood but a living, breathing, wise being. When you look into an animal's eyes, you see a soul shining back. You no longer feel the need to compete, because you realize someone else's success is not your failure. The rise of one part of the whole is the rise of the whole itself. Your fear of death fades or disappears completely. You understand that what you call you is much more than this body and identity, that you are eternal consciousness having a temporary experience. A desire to serve arises, not from ego, not from "I must save people," but from simply wanting your presence and actions to contribute to the greater good. Like a gardener watering a single flower for the beauty of the whole garden, this unity consciousness lifts you above worldly dramas, letting you see life from a wider, universal perspective. And with this inner peace, you arrive at the final stage, not the end of the journey, but the true beginning. Stage 7. Living enlightenment. Enlightenment is not reaching the top of a mountain to meditate forever. It's climbing the mountain, seeing the view, and then coming back down to live everyday life with that wisdom. This is the 7th and final stage, living enlightenment. The search is over, because you realize what you were looking for was always within and around you. You stop striving to arrive anywhere. You simply be. The signs are simple and quiet. You accept life as it is, good, bad, beautiful, ugly, knowing they're all part of the same play. You stop resisting, you flow. A spontaneous, childlike joy enters your life. You take deep pleasure in the simplest things. A cup of tea, a child's laughter, the sound of rain. Spiritual practices no longer feel like duties. Meditation becomes as natural as breathing. Every moment becomes meditation. Your very presence becomes healing. You don't need to do or say anything. Just being helps others remember their own inner light. This stage is not the end of the journey. It's where the game truly begins. Life stops being a struggle, it becomes a dance. Not an exam, but a play. And you are both the player and the game, and also the silent witness watching it all. So, where are you on this map? Maybe you recognized yourself clearly in one stage. Maybe you feel like you're moving back and forth between several. Remember, this isn't a straight line. It's a spiral. Sometimes it feels like one step forward, 2 steps back, and that's completely normal. The most important thing is being on the path, feeling that splinter, hearing the call, and taking that first step. Now I want you to write in the comments which of these 7 stages best describes your life right now. Have you ever felt alone on this journey? Let's share our stories, because the greatest strength we have on this path is knowing we're not alone. And if you want to explore this map more deeply and find new guides to light your journey, don't forget to subscribe and join our community. Remember, wherever you go, the only thing you're seeking is yourself, and you're already here.